Hey everybody, Low Carb Keith here. I'm back in my kitchen and today I'm going to show you how to make another delicious low carb dish. But before we get started, I want to ask you to click on the subscribe button on my YouTube page. That way you can keep up with everything that's going on. You can get all the new videos that come out every week or so, and you can see some of the dishes that we're working on. I would appreciate it. Today, I'm going to make something different. I was talking to a coworker this week, and the coworker, we were talking about cauliflower rice and low carb eating, and he said that one night his wife, they had run out of regular rice, and so she decided to make cauliflower rice, and he hated it. And I said, well, how did you prepare it? Well, we just fixed it like regular rice, and that is probably the problem. Cauliflower rice, for me anyway, is not very good if it's plain. I usually use cauliflower rice for casseroles or to add to a dish, or if I'm using it, I put a lot of seasoning on it, so it tastes much better. Today I'm going to try something that I've never made before. I found a recipe from Wholesome Yum, the website Wholesome Yum, and so I want to try this. This is called Creamy Keto Mushroom Cauliflower Risotto recipe. So we're making a mushroom risotto with cauliflower rice today. It should take not too long, and we're going to give it a try and we're going to see how it tastes. I've been looking forward to a side dish with cauliflower rice, and this may just be the one. But first, let's look at what we're going to use. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of butter, a half of a large onion finely diced, a 1 pound of cremini mushrooms. We're going to use a little bit of garlic. I have riced 1 head of cauliflower. We've got that ready. I'm going to use a half a cup of chicken bone broth, 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, 1/3 a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Now this is real grated Parmesan. It's not the stuff that you get in the green can. And salt and pepper. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start out by melting 2 tablespoons of butter in our skillet, and we're going to cook the mushrooms and the onions down to where they just are nice and translucent. So let's start with that. About 2 tablespoons of butter. Okay, there we go. We'll get that melted down. And cook the onions and the mushrooms. It'll take probably about 8 or 10 minutes to cook the onions and the mushrooms. And then it won't take too long after that. This is after you get your onions and mushrooms cooked. It cooks pretty quickly. So here are our onions. Let's put those in. And here are our cremini mushrooms. And I bought them whole, and I sliced them as per directions, thinly sliced. So we're going to put those in there, and then just let those cook down until they're nice and tender. They say when you're cooking these, you want all of the liquid to be out of the skillet by the time they're ready. They say if there's a little liquid in it at the end, go ahead and turn the heat up so that liquid evaporates. Because we have plenty of liquid to put in the risotto later, because we're using that bone broth and the heavy cream. So let's let that cook down, and then we'll come back and check on it in just a minute. All right, I think our mushrooms and onions are just about done. They look very, very tender and browned and caramelized, and that's what you want. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of garlic, and you could use, fresh garlic. I have a little bit of squeezed garlic that I'm just going to put in there. I'm not a big fan of garlic, so I'm just going to add just a little bit. Okay. And put that in there. It's just going to give it a little bit of flavor. Mix that around for about a minute or so. Just get it good and mixed up. I'll turn it down just a hair. All right, that's looking good. Okay. The next thing that we do is we add the cauliflower and the bone broth. So I've got a half a cup of bone broth, chicken bone broth, and we're going to put that in there. And then I'm going to add probably around 3 cups of cauliflower rice. This is a cauliflower that I got today. It wasn't nearly as big as the last one. Okay, and we're going to mix it up really good. Okay, and then we've got to cook that. We've got just to let it cook. Probably 3 to 5 minutes. So you want your cauliflower to be nice and tender and soft. Like I said, I've never made this before. It looked delicious, so I thought I would try it and see how it turned out. It may not be any good. We'll find out. All right, so we're going to let that cook for just about 3 or 4 minutes. And what we want to do is we want to get the liquid, as much liquid out of it as possible. Of course, we want the cauliflower rice to absorb some of that liquid to make it tender. They say with the difference between making this kind of risotto with cauliflower rice and regular risotto with traditional white rice or Italian risotto rice is it takes a lot longer with traditional rice, and this will cook much faster. At the end, or the next step that we do, we'll add the cream and our Parmesan cheese. And then we'll cook it a little bit more. And a little salt and pepper at the end. The great thing about this recipe is a serving size is considered 1 cup, which is a lot, and it only has 6 net carbs in it. It has 8 carbs and 2 grams of fiber. So to get your net carbs, you deduct your fiber from your total carbs, and that's what gives you your net carbs. All right, well this looks like it's cooked pretty well. Most of the moisture's out of it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our heavy cream, which is 3/4 of a cup, and our Parmesan, and we're going to mix that in. So let's put our heavy cream. Let's put our Parmesan. Like I said, regular grated, fresh grated Parmesan if possible. All right. So we're going to cook that up, let that melt, cook that cream up. We're going to add, I've not put any seasoning on it at all, so we're going to add some salt and pepper. We don't want it to be too bland. Good amount of pepper, and then some salt. And I'm going to turn the heat down because I don't want that cream to burn. So we're going to turn that down, mix that up together really good, and let that cauliflower rice continue to cook and to thicken. Let that cream and cheese sauce thicken. And some of that cream may cook off a little bit too. So, oh yeah, that is looking really, really good. Let's just let that simmer for a little while. All right, my creamy risotto with cauliflower rice has cooked down. It's really looking nice. It's got just the right amount of cream to it, the right amount of mushrooms and onion and cauliflower rice. And this is going to make a great side dish. You could serve this with chicken or beef or pork, whatever you'd want to. But hopefully this will be a nice side cauliflower rice dish that you can have cooking, and it's fairly easy to make. It doesn't take a lot to make it. So let me get a spoon. I'm going to take a taste test. All right, let's see what it's like here. All right. That's delicious. It's just the right amount of everything in it, just the right amount of cauliflower rice. It does have a little cauliflower rice taste to it, but it is cauliflower rice. But the mushrooms and the onions and the cream and the bone broth really adds a lot to it. So this is going to be delicious for supper. And I want to encourage you to try to make this. Again, thanks to the folks at Wholesome Yum for this recipe. And again, I want to remind you to click on the subscribe button there on the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way you can keep up with all the things that are going on. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in a few days for another low-carb cooking video.